introducing Abe Lincoln to Springfield, Illinois. Everybody knows him already. I use the word present, not introduce. Belleville is so proud of course, Mr. Weidman, and he knows more people in Belleville, and he's been here longer than anybody else in this room, I'm sure. He was born and raised in Belleville, as were his parents and his grandparents. He graduated from Douglas Elementary School and Belleville High School. Then he left Belleville to attend Washington and Lee University in Lexington, Virginia. I think he left town at that particular time because the rumor was that he sort of shook things up at Belleville High School while he was there. And when I heard that, I thought, you know, Jerry Turner wouldn't put up with that for a minute. But anyway, he got by with that. And so he went on to Washington and Lee. And when he graduated from Washington and Lee, he returned to Belleville. And he was very fortunate to be offered steady work at the Belleville Shoe Company. I think he knew someone there, like maybe his father. And they seemed to like him very well. And so he remained there until his retirement just a few years ago. And now I am very honored to present a real, genuine, card-carrying Bellevillian.
Yay!
Thank you so much, Shirley. You happily were a German immigrant from South St. Louis. You fell so well into the culture of Belleville because of your German heritage. And when you talk about people and how many people know, you have to be the champion in this city. You started, first of all, learning of all of your neighbors. Then you went to Signal Hill Methodist Church and learned all about the Methodists in the area. Then you went and found the parents of friends of your children, and you got to know them. And I dare say that Shirley knows more people in our city than any native Bellevillian. But that's great because there's a friendliness about you that is genuine. And I have seen it operate like no other. So I will now proceed to give some thoughts that are old in my mind about Belleville. The first has to do with streetcars. We had two major lines of streetcars, one running north and south on Illinois Street, one running east and west on Main Street. The cars would converge in the center of the square where the fountain now is, exchange passengers, and then proceed. We also had streetcars in some of the major streets in the residential areas. But these streetcars were the most important. They went all the way to 3rd and Washington, over East Bridge to St. Louis. Now, because they met often in the center of the square, there had to be an absence of vehicular traffic in the middle of the square. Thus, 4 big towers were built around which vehicular traffic would travel. Our first motorcycle policeman in Belleville was named Alois Helwig. And Aloys was on duty this day when the car came from the west on Main Street. There were no streetcars in the middle of the square, and the car went right through the middle of those 4 posts. Aloys hopped on his rod and stopped the guy on High Street. Went up to him and the fella said, "What did I do wrong?" Aloys said, "You should have gone around those 4 posts, but you went right through the middle." And the fella said, "Well, I didn't know, I'm from out of town." Aloys said, "Where you from?" Fella said, "Chicago." "Chicago? Then what the hell are you doing with an Illinois license?" That's a true story.
Hey.
We moved to 1935 at BTHS. It was the only public high school at the time. We were in the senior class. We reported to school one day and were shocked to learn that 5 of our lady teachers were fired by the 201 school district, headed by a Dr. McKelvey, a local surgeon. Nobody knew why, because those 5 teachers were some of the best lady teachers we had at high school. One was Dorothy Harmon, whose father was head at that time of McHenry College. Another was Helen T. Winkle, a graduate of Vassar College, who came here from Upper New York State to teach history. Another was Margaret Scare, our teacher of French. We students decided to go on strike only because I happened to be president of the senior class. I got the task of leading the strike. It consisted of this. We came to school every day, all of the students, but never set foot on any classroom floor. Dr. McKelvey convinced the board to fire these 5 teachers. Nobody ever knew why. Nobody went to class, but we did eat in Mrs. Jones's cafeteria for lunch and spent the rest of the time roaming the campus, which is now the campus of London University of Belleville.
Yay.
And after 3 days, the board reversed itself and rehired those 5 teachers. There was a tradition at that time that operated a few weeks later in early June at graduation. And that was that the chairman of the school board and the president of the senior graduating class sat together on the stage of the auditorium. So I sat next to Dr. McKelvey, and I have to report that my memories of my high school graduation are not pleasant. The beauty of Belleville, or certainly one of the beauties, is the high caliber of politicians which we have had to lead our city. These are some of the mayors that go back to my time. One was Roland Young, J-U-N-G. Another was George Brecknitz, whose grandson is in the audience here tonight. Another was H.V. Calhoun, who prior to becoming mayor was the superintendent of Public School District 118. And more recently, we have had the two with the same name of Mark Kern and Mark Eckert. There has been perhaps no city that has been managed with more honest politicians than Belleville, Illinois. They are conservative in their politics. They are genuine in their honesty. And they have had a devotion to our city, which has enabled it to be improved constantly, after each successive mayor. I will finish with a statement that I believe all of you will concur with, and that is, we are blessed to have had the civic leaders that we have had in our city. Thank you.